We keep hearing how the NBA is in trouble, TV ratings have dipped, and fans are tuning out. Just at the start of this season, it looked real bad. The ratings were at an all-time low, seemingly as a result of the load management culture, too many threes, and usual suspects cruising through the regular season. But lately, if you scroll social media during a big game, you can see it changing. The league might not be fully fixed yet, but major trades and a reshuffle of star talent have given NBA viewership a boost it hasn't seen in years. Honestly, it feels like we're entering a new golden era of unpredictability and hype, especially around the big market contenders. Sure, TV ratings had been on a downslide for a while. Sources like Nielsen showed something like a 19% deficit compared to a few seasons back. Analysts blamed everything, from the rise of streaming to a lack of competition to too many three-pointers to boring blowouts and buddy-buddy superstars with no real rivalries. But in the last couple of months, that deficit dropped to around 5 to 7%. The simplest explanation? The trade deadline was absolutely insane, overshadowing even the Super Bowl talk, and more importantly, it gave us a brand new shape to the league. Who would have guessed that Jimmy Butler would end up in Golden State, or that Luka Doncic would leave Dallas for the Lakers in arguably the biggest trade in modern NBA history? Those moves alone have recentered the attention to the Western Conference, where we see a chaotic playoff race. Just look at the Lakers-Warriors Christmas game. It posted the highest Christmas Day viewership in 5 years, maybe even 6, depending on which metrics you follow. People love nostalgia. LeBron versus Steph is the modern equivalent of Bird versus Magic. And guess what? Both rosters just got an upgrade. Steph now has Jimmy Butler next to him, bringing that grit and toughness that the Warriors arguably lacked, while LeBron is pairing up with Luka, making Lakers an immediate threat in a stacked Western Conference. If the league wanted a storyline to boost the ratings, they really couldn't have scripted this better. Now imagine both of these teams end up matching up in the play-in, for example. And it's not just the Lakers and Warriors. The Knicks are back in the headlines, which is a huge deal for the NBA. Historically, the Knicks being relevant has always helped ratings because New York is just such a massive market. Now they have Karl Anthony Towns, Jalen Brunson, plus wings like OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges. They are a legitimate contender in a surprisingly unpredictable Eastern Conference, where no single team is dominating like say the Cavs did when LeBron was in Cleveland. To make things simple, last season Celtics were number 1 in the East with 14 wins more than the second place Knicks. This season the situation is totally different. Boston is second, close behind Cleveland, while the Knicks are trailing Boston by just a few wins. It is clear that the competition has caught up a bit, which is great for the fans. Competition equals interest, and interest equals TV viewers. But again, for me, the real story here is how the Western Conference has become a complete bloodbath for a playoff spot. OKC, led by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, is currently the top seed. They're destroying teams with a suffocating top-tier defense that nobody expected to be quite this good, but they lack some serious playoff experience. The Nuggets remain a powerhouse behind Jokic's near triple-double averages. Yes, they didn't do any game-changing trades recently, but Westbrook has revived his game there and helped Denver immensely until his recent injury. Then you have the two squads that ascended this season in Houston and Memphis. The Rockets are surprising the league with lots of young talent and have the most athletic guy in the league in Amen Thompson.
He has a knack for handling the basketball.
Morant this time.
Oh my goodness!
Grizzlies, on the other hand, last season were missing out on arguably the most exciting player in the league in Ja Morant. This year, with him back, they are running the fastest league offense.
A lot of late game situations. Ja in the late game situation.
Both LA teams are hanging around that 5th, 6th seed, and then you still got the new Warriors and Dallas in the play-in picture too. That's honestly insane. If they squeak into the playoffs, can you imagine a first-round matchup like Warriors versus Nuggets or Warriors versus OKC? That's pure watch TV. Speaking of different playstyles, let me tell you about how I handle my personal internet playbook when I'm on the road. NordVPN. I'm traveling all the time, and the worst thing is getting up to a hotel, firing up the laptop, and realizing that my favorite stream is geo-blocked or I'm on some sketchy public Wi-Fi. NordVPN sorts both issues with one shot. I just pick a server back home and boom, no regional restrictions. and their Threat Protection Pro keeps an eye out for malware, phishing, and all of that other fun stuff, even if I'm not actively connected to the VPN. It basically makes traveling with all my devices way less stressful. No more weird pop-ups, no more worrying about who's snooping on my hotel's Wi-Fi. If you want to keep your internet wide open and protected, check out NordVPN/OutsideTheNBA for 4 months free when buying a 2-year plan. Now back to the video. And it's kind of an exaggeration that every team is just spamming threes. Yeah, shooting threes is a big thing now, but every era has its own thing. Like in the 90s, which lots of people think were the good old days, it was all about the post-up play. And we still see styles that vary significantly. The Nuggets are going old school, leaning on Jokic's passing in the post and shooting fewer threes than most, which is kind of ironic as Jokic is attempting most threes in his career. The Warriors used to be that run and gun off-ball movement based perimeter juggernaut, but with Jimmy Butler they are forced to adapt. Now they got 2 streaky shooters when Draymond and Jimmy shared the floor, meaning they had to figure out creative ways to space the offense. Meanwhile, Oklahoma City stands out as a top defensive unit, grinding teams down with perimeter stoppers. So that notion that it's just a copycat league is sort of outdated, I think. And now the fans can see a variety of playing styles clashing. It keeps the game entertaining and fresh. There's also this surge of new stars or soon-to-be superstars. Wembanyama might be the biggest prospect since LeBron, and the league's funneling all the attention his way. Now the Spurs, who rarely make huge moves like they once did in the Tim Duncan era, have gone and grabbed the Aaron Fox. Suddenly you have a dynamic guard to pair with Wembanyama, giving them a path to future contention. And the season could have gotten even more interesting, but unfortunately Wemby is out with a serious medical issue. Of course, looking long-term, the Wemby-Fox duo is an exciting prospect. Plus, it's possible that they'll tank for the rest of the season, and if that's the case, and they manage to land Cooper Flag, well, damn. Then we got ourselves another possible dynasty.
Flag on the attack with a slam and a foul!
Ja Morant is also a face that the NBA has successfully capitalized on despite his off-the-court troubles. He's in the top 10 most sold jerseys list, sitting right behind Anthony Edwards. And Edwards is a fan favorite who's got all the charisma and flair you could want from an American superstar.
He can hoop a little bit, huh? Just a little bit, huh?
Man, y'all better stand down. I'm the truth.
He's the truth. He said he's the truth. Yeah?
D-boy, no.
And then there's Shea in OKC, who looks like an MVP candidate this year. I just think that next wave of talent gives the NBA some hope that they won't lose steam once LeBron, Steph, and KD eventually age out. But I'm not going to say that the league is done worrying about ratings. There's still the question of streaming and fans who only tune in for the playoffs. But from a short-term perspective, the league has found new life. Of course, the critics will point out that the injuries remain a big issue. Does AD or Embiid ever stay healthy? And load management still annoys fans who show up only to find their star players resting. Other fans miss the heated rivalries of the 90s or early 2000s, claiming the league is too friendly nowadays. Those guys like Jordan, Kobe, or KG were all about that cutthroat competition. No time to be friends with your enemies. Nowadays, players train together in the summers, share agents, visit each other's podcasts or whatnot, and are all friends. The trash talk, the intense rivalries that used to get fans hyped are practically gone. Sure, society has changed and maybe it's just a part of that, but let's be real, it has made the NBA kinda boring. And that raw emotion can't be manufactured either, so it's not exactly up to the league as much it is about the culture of the players. So, the NBA definitely hasn't solved all of its problems overnight, but you can't deny that that combination of big market success, insane trades, and fresh superstars is shifting the narrative. I find it fascinating that so many big markets are all relevant at once. The Knicks, the Lakers, the Warriors, and the Celtics are all interesting. Historically, having the Lakers and the Knicks good at the same time is like the best case scenario for the NBA. Meanwhile, you also have the mid-market powerhouses like the Nuggets and smaller market successes like the Thunder. It's a wide spread that caters to pretty much every kind of fan. Personally, I haven't been this intrigued by a regular season in a while. With so many teams pushing for the postseason, you get at least a handful of meaningful games every night. So, do you think that the NBA has fixed its ratings problems? Or let's say taken a massive step in the right direction? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't for more NBA takes through an overseas lens, and I'll catch you in the next one.